All right, I bought this close looking for 50 cents. And so from all the examples I have, it looks like it's reasonable for a profit or to get out break even if it doesn't work out within 3 or 4 bars. But um, I kind of forced myself to take it because I was very reluctant, especially because it closed below the support level, and it was pretty bearish. So um, a little bit of a forced trade, but also trying to make sure that if I see a setup that I've looked at and I feel has a reasonable chance of working out, that I take it despite being afraid to take it. And then eventually, if I realize that it's not worth taking, then I can just scrap it. But if I'm considering it and I'm just not taking it out of fear, then I want to at least take it with small size. Just got out there with 40 cents. So it did work out, but again, I'm gonna need a lot more data points for this kind of setup to determine if it's worth it. From all the things that I've seen, the examples I've seen and what I've tested, it does seem to give you a quick profit or a chance to get out break even within 3 to 4 bars. So it's what I'm gonna continue doing for now with small size um, in terms of just forward testing it. But if I if I get enough data points that show that it's not worth it or that the premise is good to look to buy here, but I need to wait for more confirmation. So, for example, seeing this bull bar and then buying below it, then that might be something I switch to. If I notice that there's a way to take the same trade but with better probability by being a bit more patient, then I'll do that instead. But for now, I'm happy I took the trade despite being reluctant and afraid to take it here because of the selling pressure, thinking that we'd have to go at least sideways to up um, and make a quick profit or get out break even if necessary. I bought this close, betting that it's a consecutive sell climax, thinking that it's more likely we get up to the top of the sell climax, or at least the body of the sell climax, before going down in equal distance. Okay, got filled there. I got in a little bit later than I would have liked because I wanted to see it rally a little bit first. So instead of just buying the close, I waited to see that it started to eclipse the sell climax a little bit, um, just to increase my probability. So I got in a little bit later than the actual close. So I don't know how much I made on it at $1.28. So I made 88 cents, so 44 cents per share. I don't think this is a high probability setup just because it's a 5 bar bear micro channel, and I'm not confident that we get the breakout, but I thought it was worth a chance that we could break higher after this breakout, double bottom bull flag breakout, and then second entry buy. It's kind of a second entry, it just didn't trigger the first one, but I thought it was worth a shot. Relatively tight stop, so low probability, but if we get the breakout, it could go up for $1 or $1.50. So I thought it was worth it to try. It got a cent above my stop loss and didn't fill me, so I didn't get stopped out. And then it rallied all the way back up to my entry, gave me a chance to get out break even. And it looks like that's what most people did who bought above here, because as soon as it got there, it sold off. And I was wondering if it's an opportunity, if I was just getting lucky and it was giving me an opportunity to get out break even, or if that was the start of the rally. And I decided not to get out break even. And so it looks like that was the wrong decision. Got stopped out there. So back down to 60 cents profit for the day. I didn't think it was a high probability trade. And I also didn't have complete clarity of if it was a good setup. But I thought it had a chance to get another leg up from this initial leg. So we had this leg, we had double bottom bull flag, and then a breakout pullback. So despite the tight channel and the tight stop, I thought if we did trigger and accelerate up, we could get a second leg up. So I thought it was worth it in terms of not the probability, but in terms of the reward based on what I was risking. So I thought it was worth a shot. I have an order here to buy the low of the prior bar. Ideally, I wanted to buy this low, seeing it as a failed breakout from a double bottom, and then a rally with 3 bars. So this one was the one I wanted to buy. We rallied for another bar. So that's 3 consecutive bull bars after a double bottom, a failed breakout from a double bottom. So it's not as strong as it could be for a strong breakout, but it's strong enough, I think, that we have to go sideways. And if we get a strong bull bar closing on the high, then that could be the start of a second leg up. The one I was trying to catch here might be starting from down here after testing support, failing to break out, and then now rallying. So I'm not sure if I'll wait for the full swing because you have these big tails on top. So I might scalp out, but I think there's a reasonable area to be buying a pullback. It's a little bit counterintuitive because the only reason I'm able to buy a pullback is because it's weak. So if it was strong, it wouldn't have given me the pullback down here. So that tells me that because I got the opportunity to buy a pullback down here at a lower price, it makes it less likely to become a really strong breakout because I was able to buy low. So it makes me more likely it makes me more interested in scalping instead of waiting for a potential breakout and swing. So we'll see. I might scalp out if it even gets the bounce. So I have my order to get out at 281.54 if we get there. If this bar closes on its low, then I'll look to get out break even. I moved my target to my entry price, so looking to get out break even now. Looked like I may get stopped out here, but I thought that this buy was reasonable for sideways to up, so another leg sideways to up. So if we didn't get up right away, which we didn't, I thought it would be reasonable to still be able to get out break even. So these 3 bear bars closing near their lows make it less likely, but I thought at the time it was a reasonable thing to do. In a situation like this, after 4 consecutive lower highs, these 4 bars, I usually move my target down to the prior high because I don't know if it's going to get all the way back up. But for some reason, I'm feeling reluctant to do that because I don't want to take a loss on it. And so I'm kind of being a little bit greedy, hoping it gets back to my break even. Even though what I normally do is move it to the prior high because we might get above the prior high for a pullback and then reverse back down and not get up to that low. So we got above the high there and started to pull back. And this is another situation where I'm just late to it. See, I see it happen and then I move my target. I deserve getting stopped out here if I do. I should have done exactly what I said, moved my target to the high of the prior bar, which is what I normally do and which is what makes sense after 4 bars with lower highs. Okay, got stopped out. Down 34 cents now on the day. I deserve this one. It's just really, really bad management. I think that's the next level of trading is knowing what's likely and then actually being able to execute on it. So me knowing that it often pulls back after a 4-bar microchannel, it doesn't get up to your entry, it gets back up to the prior bar and then pulls back. So that's what I should do, but I didn't do it. And I mentioned it's part greed and part it being likely in this context, but I should have done what I normally do, which is what I think is the right thing, and the conservative approach is it often pulls back there. So knowing what to do and then actually doing it are 2 very different things. And I think for the first 300 trades, I was I don't know what to do. And I think now I'm starting to kind of get what I should be doing and understanding the setups and understanding price action a bit better. And now this is a new challenge, is knowing what to do, and then actually fighting the emotions and acknowledging them and doing the right thing anyways. And so that might be the next big hurdle that I have to overcome, because I think this was an easy opportunity to take a smaller loss and I didn't take it. Getting a surprise breakout here, so that's probably the best candidate for the start of the swing, at least in my opinion. So I I think after 3 failures down and this big surprise bar, I think we should get follow through. So I'd be willing to buy the close of this bar just with 1 share. So I bought the close there, thinking that it's the start of a potential bigger move up. So I won't scalp out. I'll hold for a second leg up. So this is the first leg. This is a pullback, 3 pushes, and I'm using the premise that this is the start of the second leg. Put an order out to buy 1 more share here on a pullback. Okay, I got filled on that, so now I'm in 2 shares. Stop below the low. So not really getting good follow through after the surprise bar. So might take a loss on 2 shares here. It could be that the setup is buying above the surprise and not buying the close. So I may have turned a pretty decent day into a pretty bad day if I lose this here. Another example here where I bought the close, bought lower, and a lot of people, it looks like they sold right at a 50% pullback, so that would have given me an opportunity to get out break even there. Just not thinking quick enough. And I didn't know if I even wanted to get out break even, but I'm just a step behind still. I should be thinking that, like, okay, bad follow through, close near its low, not good follow through after a big bar like this. So if I'm worried, then that's a good chance to get out break even. But I can't think about getting out break even after I see that people did that, or I can't think about moving my target to break even after I see the price come up and then fail. It's just a little bit too late. So I put the target up here to get out at my first entry. But the reason I was frustrated is because I should have been thinking bad follow through and so get out at the midpoint and not at the first entry. So I'll move it there now, but I think I'm just too late. Just a step behind. All right. So got stopped out. Down 270 now on the day. Pretty sucky day, but I think I needed a day like this just to remind myself that there's still a lot to learn. I feel like I was getting a little bit overconfident with my trading in this batch of 100 trades. I felt like I was finally getting it, and I do feel like I've improved a lot, but I need a day like this to just remind me to not take everything I see, and to be a little bit more careful, a little bit more picky, and just to remind me that there's still a long way to go. So I'm done for the day. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow.